Hey everyone, welcome to this weekend Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for July 19th, 20th, and 21st of 2019. All right, so this weekend we are still somewhat in the lunar eclipse energy. We're definitely in the eclipse cycle of the lunar cycle. But if there were any shifts and changes from earlier in the week, maybe some new insights, maybe a shift in life direction, maybe releasing some things has been very liberating for you. Whatever that shift was, it is a really good weekend for still implementing any of these insights or just continuing to move some energy forward in what is still this heightened part of the lunar month. So with this on Friday, we have still a bit of Venus trining Neptune from Thursday, so there could be a bit of receptivity, maybe in our relationships, maybe just enjoying a bit of that ebb and flow in life. The moon will be shifting from Capricorn into Aquarius, so if there's any responsibilities or grounded energy that can be finalized on Friday, that can be great. And then going into Saturday, Aquarius is all about getting in touch with that eccentric side of ourselves. So really good for mixing things up, inducing some change, challenging the status quo a little bit. Really good weekend for that innovative, progressive stuff. And then once we get to Sunday, that's where a lot of the aspects are concentrated. We have Venus opposite Pluto. So it could be a heightened part of the cycle regarding deeper connections, maybe intimacy or transformations in relationships that can be very constructive. And Mercury Retrograde's going over the sun. So there could be a bit of maybe insight from what we've been maybe reflecting on this past roughly week and a half, thinking about, mulling over during the retrograde. Once Mercury passes over the sun, it can illuminate some things with that. All right, so let's take a look at all of this here in more detail when I return. All right, so here is the sky for this weekend. We're going to look at this for each day here. Friday, first of all, with the moon leaving Capricorn and going into progressive Aquarius. And then all day on Saturday, the moon is in Aquarius. And then on Sunday, the moon finishing Aquarius and going into watery Pisces, receptive Pisces, which will be the theme for a good portion of next week. So looking at this first for Friday, we do have this finishing up of grounded Capricorn. If there's any responsibilities or anything that you've been taking slowly or steadily or patiently, maybe this past couple days, could be a good day for finalizing that kind of energy on Friday. But as the day unfolds, but especially once we get into Saturday, we're getting into this progressive Aquarian energy. So great weekend for mixing things up, challenging the status quo, getting in touch with our unique individuality, our unique self-expression, and finding how that fits in the greater collective, right? Aquarius can be very much about the future. So we could be thinking maybe about worldly things, collective things, global things. Gets into our humanitarian side, our progressive side, innovative side. Really good to get in touch with that pretty much this whole weekend. So as you can see here, all of the aspects are very much concentrated here on Sunday. But on Friday, we are going to be finishing up this Neptune trining up to, Venus trining up to Neptune. So with this, if you felt any bit of receptivity on Thursday, maybe a bit of ebb and flow, maybe in relating, maybe with your enjoyments in life, or just maybe with the routine, maybe creative energy as well. This is still somewhat available here on Friday. It's going to be decreasing as the day unfolds, but still nonetheless, really good day of still doing that. Maybe having a bit of that receptive approach to our enjoyments and relationships. Now, once we get into Saturday and the moon is very well set in Aquarius, again, that progressive energy will be really good. As we get into the later part and into Sunday, Venus, who trined Neptune on Thursday, is going to be opposite Pluto on Sunday. So Pluto deals a lot with transformation and self-empowerment and healing. And with Venus, this can very well deal with maybe relationships or our enjoyments in life or regarding our self-worth or our self-value. So with oppositions, it's kind of the heightened part of this actually. So on one level, if there's been any transformations you've been doing with your relationship life or with your self-value or your values in general, maybe over the past 6 months roughly, this could be the heightened part of that. Maybe some things culminating with maybe deeper intimacy, deeper awareness, self-empowerment, transformation. So this is heightened here with the opposition. Now, if there is anything from the external, which can sometimes be the case with oppositions, in other words, maybe something plutonic, deep, relating to transformation or power dynamics or something like that, maybe in the relating sphere, if that transformative energy is coming from the outside, it is really good to be observant of that and really just find that balance. With the opposition, it's a great time for that sort of self-awareness and mindfulness in terms of how we can be a bit more non-attached to our deep needs, our deep desires. And through that non-attachment, it can be very self-empowering, right? So enjoying the deeper values, enjoying our relationships with non-attachment. And this frees us up, right? And this is where the sort of transformative energies of Pluto can really come in. And as we do practice that non-attachment, then it is, of course, easier for intimacy, depth, and just enjoying these deeper dimensions of life. So non-attachment with Pluto, and if there are any things involving maybe things you can just generally empower yourself with, maybe fears or vulnerabilities or some healing, maybe again dealing with Venusian things, really good day on Sunday to cultivate that kind of energy. So along with this, Mercury retrograde is going to be passing over the sun, which is the halfway point of the retrograde, because Mercury is always very close to the sun. So when Mercury goes retrograde, it passes over the sun. So we're kind of in this halfway point. Usually during the halfway point of the retrograde, we come to some insight. And if we think about it, the sun is shining that light, right? And it's contacting Mercury, so it's shining that light on Mercury-related things. So if there are any things you've been maybe reworking or rethinking or redoing, maybe about the past with all of this in Cancer, there could be some insight on Sunday, maybe a shift in the right direction, maybe gaining a little bit more of that sort of clarity sometimes, although it could be very unconscious kind of clarity. It's more like a knowing kind of a thing. Really good day for this stuff. So meditation, that awareness, continuing to redo things in our life could be a great way of working with this halfway point of the Mercury retrograde. And again, maybe some things shifting. So if there were some things specifically you've been doing the past week and a half in this regard, then it could be a nice step in the right direction during this contact with the sun. All right, so that's a great day for these kinds of things, and just mindfulness with the mind and with the communication, just because the sun is going to be playing the dominant energy there. So, mindfulness with what we're thinking, communicating. Again, it's retrograde energy anyways, so we kind of want to be doing that. But it could be a good day on Sunday to kind of do that mindfulness and reworking and self-awareness stuff. All right, everyone. So that is the weekend in a nutshell. I do want to say that as we get into the later part of Sunday, we do have the moon shifting into Pisces, which will be the theme for the whole early part of next week. Pisces is very much about getting into that receptive side of ourselves. It's about finding peace. How can we find peace in our life, just in general? And maybe getting some rest, some spiritual time, intuitive time, maybe creative time. Be a great way of segueing into next week. All right, so everyone, have a fantastic weekend. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all on Monday for the daily forecast. Take care.